All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of my sugar solution into one test tube. Since this solution contains some glucose, and hard to actually read that, it says glucose solution 1%, I should be able to detect an aldehyde present in that glucose with this reaction that I'm going to do. I need a little bit of water in my other test tube just to have something to compare with. And then I need to add Benedict solution that contains that copper ion we were talking about. I need to roughly triple each of these volumes. And then I just put both test tubes into a hot water bath and see if I can see some results. So again, I'm just trying to observe, see if there's any kind of change. So I'm starting to see a little bit of difference in that test tube on the left that had our sugar in it. Again, it's an oxidation reaction. The aldehydes in the sugar are oxidizing to make carboxylic acids. But at the same time, that copper ion is reacting as well. And that's why you're seeing it change. So essentially what's happening is with our reaction, that copper 2 ion, that cupric ion, is actually a bright blue color, and it's being reduced to make our copper 1 that's actually a reddish color in solution, right? So I can tell that there's a change. I know that this reaction occurred because of that color change, but in the water test tube there was no color change. That's because there's no aldehyde there to react with. So you let that sit for a little bit, right? These are two that I did before. You can see that it's bright red, bright blue. It's really, really easy to tell the difference between the two. But that's that test that we use to see that an aldehyde's present, Benedict's and failings. It's similar to the test used by test strips in that diabetics use to test their blood to see how much sugar is in there. So it's actually a very useful reaction. We use it for a lot of different purposes. This version tells us that there's an aldehyde present, but it doesn't really tell you how much glucose is present. So it's qualitative, not quantitative. But obviously those test strips tell you exactly how much glucose is in that person's blood so that they can medicate appropriately. Again, it's kind of our final result. We get this bright red versus the blue. And that's the reaction we're talking about.